And leading today's proceedings, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Darrell Issa. Sir, good morning to you, and thank you for coming back on our program here. Do you agree with Senator Corker's conclusion that this is about an election?
What we know is that our Americans serving abroad are in danger, and there was an incredible lapse in the kind of thinking that leads to keeping them safe. And that's not just Ambassador Stevens and the SEALs, it's all our men and women serving over there. If it was for political reasons to make it seem more safe than it is, then that's particularly onerous, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Why is this hearing so important then? Because it appears from public statements that the State Department is cooperating. Is that true?
Bill, I have had good cooperation by the State Department. I talked to Secretary Clinton personally. She pledged cooperation, and she told her people to do so. And I'm pleased to report that. What we are not pleased about is that men and women, it's now been 30 days, significant changes in the level of security of our men and women serving in all these countries, including all of the Arab countries, needs to be increased or at least reviewed to find out if they have the same level of shortcomings that led to the death of Ambassador Stevens.
Will you call Secretary Clinton to testify?
We're going through a transcribing process of, if you will, her subordinates. If it leads to areas in which she's a fact witness, of course we will. But in general, we start, as we did here, with the whistleblower, and then we work up, down, and sideways to get to the truth. And that's what my committee is charged to do by the Speaker.
Based on that answer, you did not take that possibility off the table, right? We're clear on that?
Exactly. You never take it off the table, but it could go sideways. It could go to the White House. It could go to the FBI. There's a lot of places that people and places that had to fail in order for this terrible tragedy to occur.
Well, right now at the moment, do you believe the administration misled you and the American people?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question, as Senator Corker said, that at least by the time that Ambassador Rice made her outlandish statements as our most important ambassador, the ambassador to the UN, everyone seemed to know that it just wasn't true. That becomes the real question of why in the world would an ambassador make a statement that was not supported even a few hours after the attack, and certainly wasn't supported a day, 2 days, or in this case, 5 days after the attack.
Well, you have three principal players here. You have Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton, and the president, right? Are you suggesting that any of these individuals, or all of them, lied about this?
Well, certainly we're going to get to the bottom of Ambassador Rice's false statement. But you've got to understand something, Bill. The reason I called my committee back during this period of time in which most members are home campaigning was that I thought it was so important that we get to the truth about the failure of security, because we have hundreds of missions in embassies and consulates around the world. And if this has been repeated even once, and I don't act quickly, then I've failed to meet my obligation. If they need more resources, I need to make sure they ask for them and get them. And in this case, what we saw was a pattern of basically being told, effectively, don't even ask for more resources because we won't support it. You'll see that today in the hearing.
Well, if you believe you were misled and there was some sort of misdirection that was put out there publicly, the question is why? How do you answer that?
Well, the why is an important question, and I think we're going to get to the bottom of who thought it was in either political or career best interest to mislead the public, the world, and yes, Congress. But again, today's hearing has to be about the men and women in harm's way. The American people need to know as soon as possible that things are not as safe as they're being led to believe they are, and if we're going to have our men and women risk their lives, they have to do it with the kind of security that historically has been provided to our diplomats.
Well, Darrell Issa, I appreciate your time. I know the hearing will keep you busy
Bill.
Throughout the day. We'll be watching from here, and we'll see how much you uncovered today based on security in Libya and at these other posts throughout the world. Darrell Issa, thank you.
You're most welcome.